Welcome, 3 a.m. Tales listeners, to the top 10 scariest stories from midnight morgue workers. Get ready for a trip into the unknown, where the dead don't always stay still. Tonight, we explore the cold halls of the morgue, a place where life and death mix. We'll hear from those who work in the dark, taking care of the quiet, still bodies. These are their stories, told in whispers. Are you brave enough to listen? Number 10. Picture this. A lone morgue worker, the only person in a building full of the dead making their rounds. The air is thick with the scent of antiseptic, and the cold, sterile environment sends shivers down their spine. Every step echoes through the empty halls, amplifying the eerie silence that surrounds them. Suddenly, they see something move out of the corner of their eye. A fleeting shadow, barely perceptible, but enough to make their hearts skip a beat. They pause, straining their eyes in the dim light, trying to convince themselves it was just their imagination. A figure, covered in a white sheet, lying on a gurney in the corner. The sheet is eerily still, yet the worker can't shake the feeling that something is off. The worker, heart racing, walks towards it. Each step feels heavier than the last, as if the air itself is thickening around them. They can hear their own heartbeat, loud and insistent in their ears. They thought they were alone. The silence is oppressive, pressing in on them from all sides. They glance around, hoping to see another living soul, but the morgue remains as empty as ever. As they get closer, the sheet moves like someone is breathing under it. The movement is subtle, almost imperceptible, but unmistakable. The worker's breath catches in their throat. The worker reaches out with a shaking hand to pull back the sheet, their heart pounding. Every instinct screams at them to turn and run, but they are compelled to uncover the truth. But when the sheet falls away, the gurney is empty. The worker stares in disbelief, their mind racing to make sense of what they are seeing. No sign of the figure, no sign of anyone ever being there. The gurney is as pristine as it was before, untouched and undisturbed. Just the cold, quiet morgue. The worker is left standing there, questioning their own sanity, wondering if they had just encountered the phantom patient. Number 9. The morgue is very quiet, except for the hum of the fridges. But tonight, a new sound fills the air. A soft sob, barely heard at first, comes from the autopsy room. The worker on duty stops, listening closely. The sound comes again, a low, sad cry. It seems to come from a young woman who died in a car accident. The worker, scared but curious, slowly walks to the body. As they get closer, the crying gets louder, a sad sound that gives them chills. They touch the body, and the crying stops suddenly. Number 8. The morgue is a quiet place where the dead rest. But tonight, something strange happens. A worker hears a loud thump from the storage room. They open the door and shine a flashlight inside. On the floor is a body bag that was closed before. The bag moves like something inside is trying to get out. The worker is scared, thinking the body is alive. They back away and run out, shutting the door behind them. Number 7. The morgue is a place of whispers, or so the stories say. Whispers come from the walls, whispers that scare you and make your hair stand up. One night, a worker is alone. the silence broken by the hum of lights. Suddenly they hear a faint whisper near their ear. They turn around, but no one is there, just rows of cold steel drawers. They feel uneasy, but the whispers continue, soft murmurs swirling around them, coming from everywhere and nowhere. The worker realizes they are not alone, that the whispers are real and meant only for them. Number 6. The morgue is very quiet. Every sound is louder in the silence. Tonight there is a new sound. Footsteps. A worker hears the footsteps and stops to listen. The footsteps are slow and loud, echoing in the halls. The worker follows the sound, heart beating fast, but finds nothing. The footsteps keep going, always just ahead, leading the worker. Suddenly, the footsteps stop. The worker hears only their own breathing. The footsteps are gone, leaving the worker wondering who or what was leading them. Number 5. The morgue is cold, the air feels heavy. But this cold is different. It's a strange, deep cold that comes from death. One night, a worker is getting a body ready when they feel a cold touch on their shoulder. They turn around, heart pounding, but no one is there. They try to ignore it, thinking it's just the cold air, but the feeling stays. A cold, dead hand is on their shoulder, gripping tighter. They pull away, feeling frozen inside, and run out of the room, the memory of that cold hand stuck in their mind. Number 4. The morgue is a place of shadows and flickering lights. It feels like the living and the dead are both there. Tonight, the lights are acting strange. A worker, busy with paperwork, notices the lights flickering. At first, they think it's just an electrical problem, but as the flickering gets worse, they start to feel uneasy. The lights make shadows dance on the walls, looking like they are moving. The worker watches as the shadows twist into scary shapes. The air feels heavy and strange, and the worker feels like something is watching them from the dark. Number 3. The morgue is full of shadows, where the line between the living and the dead is unclear. The air is thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional creak of old wood and the distant hum of fluorescent lights. It's a place where the past lingers, and the present feels like a distant memory. But tonight, a shadow moves that shouldn't be there. It slips through the darkness, almost as if it has a mind of its own, defying the natural order of things. This shadow is different, more sinister, more alive. A worker, alone on their shift, sees something move out of the corner of their eye. Their heart races as they try to convince themselves it's just their imagination, but deep down, they know something is terribly wrong. A tall, shadowy figure is in the far corner of the room. It stands there, almost as if it's watching, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The figure is tall and thin, its edges blurry like smoke. It seems to waver and shift, never fully solid, always on the verge of disappearing. It glides across the floor, moving in a strange way. Its movements are fluid, almost graceful, yet there's something deeply unsettling about the way it moves, as if it's not bound by the same laws of physics as everything else. The worker watches in fear as the shadow comes closer, its form changing as it moves. It seems to grow larger, more menacing with each passing second. They are frozen with fear, unable to move or scream as the shadow surrounds them, its cold touch sending chills down their spine. The air grows colder, and the worker feels a sense of dread unlike anything they've ever experienced. The shadow seems to whisper, its voice a faint, chilling echo in the darkness. Number 2. The morgue is a quiet place where the dead do not speak. But tonight, a loud scream breaks the silence. A morgue worker hears the scream and stops, scared. The scream is very scary and makes them shiver. They run to find the scream, their heart beating fast. But when they turn the corner, it is quiet again. The room is empty, with only the hum of the fridges. There is no one there, and no reason for the scream they heard. Number 1. The morgue is full of equipment reminding us of life's fragility. But tonight, one piece of equipment seems alive. A worker, alone on their shift, hears a strange noise from the autopsy room. A metallic scraping sound like something heavy being dragged. They approach the room, heart pounding, and peek through the small window. What they see chills them to the bone. An empty gurney is moving slowly, its wheels squeaking. It glides across the room, stopping in the center as if pushed by an invisible hand. These are some of the scary things that happen to people working the night shift at the morgue. Imagine being surrounded by the dead, the silence only broken by the occasional creak or whisper. The atmosphere is thick with tension, and every shadow seems to hide a secret. The morgue is a place where the line between life and death is very thin. Many strange things happen there. Some say they have seen figures moving in the corner of their eyes, only to disappear when looked at directly. Others have heard faint whispers, as if the dead are trying to communicate. Next time you hear a noise in the dark, it might not be just your mind playing tricks. It could be something more, something that defies explanation. The creak of a door, the rustle of fabric, or even a soft sigh could be a sign that you are not alone. It could be the voices of the dead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next episode. Also, let us know what you think about this episode, what you want to see next. And if you have your own chilling story, leave a comment in the comment section below. Sweet dreams. Remember, the night holds many secrets, and sometimes it's better not to know them all.